Everyone. Welcome to Plants and Politics. So, Bunker Boy, otherwise known as Donald Trump, has barely been seen since the election. I mean, he's rarely made any appearances. But this week, he came out of hiding to talk about how the Dow hit an all-time high of over 30,000. So, take a look.
The stock market Dow Jones Industrial Average just hit 30,000, which is the highest in history. We've never broken 30,000, and that's just despite everything that's taken place with the pandemic. I'm very thrilled with what's happened on the vaccine front. That's been absolutely incredible. It's nothing like that has ever happened medically, and I think people are acknowledging that, and it's having a big effect. But the stock market's just broken 30,000. Never been broken, that number. That's a sacred number, 30,000. Nobody thought they'd ever see it. That's the 9th time since the beginning of 2020, and it's the 48th time that we've broken records during the Trump administration. And I just want to congratulate all the people within the administration that work so hard. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the people of our country, because there are no people like you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
So first of all, this is a bunch of BS. He's trying to take credit for this, but the Dow jumped because it had been announced that several states finally certified election results and that Joe Biden had in fact won, and Trump finally agreed to allow the transition to begin. So it wasn't because of him, it was absolutely the complete opposite, because people realized, yeah, we are that much closer to truly being rid of him and his instability. But second, we've had back-to-back record-setting days in regard to COVID cases, and the number of COVID deaths continue to rise. I mean, literally for weeks now. But he hasn't bothered to say a word about any of that. He can't stop sucking his thumb long enough to talk about that, but he can stop sucking it to brag about the stock market, of which he had nothing to do with. I mean, only in a negative way. But he can't find his way out of his bunker to make a statement about COVID numbers, of which he had everything to do with and failed in every way possible. So it just goes to show you where his priorities lie. And let's be clear too, the majority of the people who are invested in the stock market are the wealthiest in the country, who have become more wealthy during the COVID period. But meanwhile, all this is going on, he's bragging about the stock market, but unemployment claims rose again last week. So 778,000 Americans filed for traditional unemployment benefits for the first time. This is not ongoing. These are first-time claimants as of the week ending November 21st. That's a jump of 30,000 from the previous week's revised numbers. So we had a few weeks where the numbers were going at least in the right direction and going down in this category. Now they're on their way back up again. And 26 million Americans say that they don't have enough to eat. And I'll get to more on that in a minute. But on top of that, almost 800,000 new filings for traditional benefits. There were an additional 311,675 U.S. citizens who filed for unemployment through that other fund I talk about each week, the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Fund, which is for non-traditional employees, people who don't qualify for the traditional benefits, so self-employed people and gig workers and so forth. In addition, 2,436 federal employees and 754 newly discharged veterans all filed new claims last week. So that brought the total once again to over 1 million Americans in 1 week who recently became unemployed and filed for assistance for the first time. But hey, how about that stock market, huh? Isn't that great? that stocks are doing so well. I mean, forget about the roughly 30 million Americans who are either unemployed or underemployed or just stepped out of the job market altogether throughout the United States. I mean, let's not talk about them. This ridiculous so-called billionaire is so unplugged. He's so out of touch. It's pathetic. According to Census Bureau data, and this is what I alluded to a minute ago, more Americans report not having enough to eat right now than at any time since 1998 when they first began collecting that information. 1 in every 8 Americans surveyed said that sometimes or often they didn't have enough food to eat in the past week. That's equivalent to 26 million Americans who are going hungry in the greatest, wealthiest country on earth. That is an unbelievable failure. Oh, and who's in charge? Remind me again who's in charge of the country? Who the president is? Yeah, huge failure, just like him. Of those 26 million Americans, 1 in 4 have children at home. So 1 in 4 families with children don't have enough to eat. Their children are going to bed hungry. And all over this country, reports are coming out from all over the place about people and cars miles and miles long waiting in line at food banks so they can feed their families. These aren't lazy people. These aren't people just looking for a handout. No one is going to start lining up at a food bank at 1 a.m. when the doors don't even open until 8 a.m., 7 hours early, because they're bored or they want to take advantage or they're lazy. You know who does that? Desperate people, hungry people. And that's exactly what recently happened in Houston, Texas. They're being hit so hard. And literally people were lining up at 1 in the morning when the doors didn't open until 8. And in Virginia, not too far from one of Trump's golf courses, I believe it's pronounced Loudoun Hunger Relief, they said that recently they provided a record number of families with food in 1 week. 887 households came in and they had to provide them with food so they could get through the week. The group executive director said that they continue to help families who've never required assistance in the past. These are not people who are just riding the system. These are not people who are used to going hungry or used to not being able to take care of their own families. But Trump has said nothing about this. He said nothing about it or to these terrified Americans. These people who are struggling to feed themselves, to feed their children, he doesn't have time. He's too busy tweeting. He's too busy watching OWN, pushing Newsmax. He doesn't have time to try to use his authority and his power to get another stimulus bill passed for these families and their children. He seriously doesn't care. If this self-centered scumbag is still alive in 4 years and runs again in 2024 for president, I hope that people will wake up and remember how he didn't even pretend to give a damn about anything or anyone other than himself in his final 2 months, because he is absolutely showing everybody exactly what he cares about. With Donald Trump, it's me, myself, and I. That is it. Failed leadership. And you know what? I have to spread it around. As I say, week after week, everyone has failed. Pelosi should have taken that $1.8 trillion deal that was on the table. She should have put the ball in the Republicans' court and let them feel the pressure to take it, or at least compromise somewhere. But no, did nothing, and now they're all on vacation, enjoying their meals. They all have enough to eat. She's got her $20,000, $30,000 refrigerator and freezer stuffed with her gourmet ice cream. And McConnell doesn't give a damn. He rakes it in. These people are sickening, absolutely sickening. These are not leaders. These are order takers, and they take their orders from their corporate donors. And right now, their corporate donors are doing great because they're the ones bumping up the stock market to over 30,000. They're doing better than ever. We bailed their asses out again. Corporate welfare. That's what we have in this country. Corporate socialism. It's only a capitalist society for the rest of us schmucks. This is so frustrating, guys. Well, I will keep you posted. Of course, next week I will let you know how things go, but it is not looking good. I have to say, not looking good at all. And as I mentioned last week, a lot of the special funds and special programs that were set up to get everyone through this pandemic, they're about to expire. Next month, they're going to expire, and they have nothing in the works. Just a complete and total abdication of duty on all sides, on everyone's part. But you know what? The head of the country, the top of the food chain is Donald Trump, and he doesn't even give a damn enough to make a statement about it. What a complete and utter failure and loser. So, as always, like, share, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching and listening. I'll talk with you guys soon. Take care. Thanks for listening to Plants and Politics. The only way we can take our country and power back is to spread the truth and build an army. So remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share on Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks again.